That's where I went.
If you had the money, or you took out a loan, you can go to school. But that's not even the issue. Even back then, at least, even places like LIU and NYU were affordable. Well, they're not affordable anymore. Okay?
Well, that's...
And City University, the City University system now, I think charges upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 a semester for tuition alone. And most people go to city universities for the very reason that it's the cheapest game in town for the best education you could get.
Yeah, I do know. But my feeling is college education should be free.
Well, and
if there should be a certain amount of schools that are free, and people can attend them.
Well, that was the whole reason for, aside from CUNY, which is City University System, the SUNY schools, the state university schools, were set up to give students affordable education. But now even the SUNY schools cost $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, a term, and it simply is making a college education unaffordable for, well, you want to talk about simply just ordinary people. Forget about, don't even talk about, people of color or anything like that. Just talk about working class people who just can't afford college.
Listen, it has nothing to do with color. It's money. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And, the problem is the schools are expensive, and they should be free. There are other countries in the world that provide college education for free.
Just like they provide health care
for free. But taxes are higher. I mean, there's no free ride.
I know many times you brought up the whole point of the VAT tax that they have in Canada. I'm sure they have a similar tax in Europe where anytime you go out for a meal or you buy furniture or you buy a car, there's a special tax that's added on. And that goes primarily for medical expenses. Everybody goes into the same pool, and then, God forbid, when the time comes that you need have a medical issue, it's taken care of. And it's something you don't have to worry about.
And people who have a lot of money, they still go to the private doctors.
Well, what a lot of people
afford it.
What a lot of people do is people in Canada who work for companies, let's say, that have offices in the United States, they are covered by their company so that, if they simply want their annual physical, which is once a year, they can go to their Canadian doctor and have their annual physical. But if they have a problem, a specific problem where they must get to see a specialist, then they utilize their company insurance and they come down to the States because, it's easy. You don't have to wait months to see a specialist the way you do in Canada.
I never heard of that. Where where U.S. companies are providing U.S. insurance to Canadian people.
One of our friends had a friend who was Canadian, had dual citizenship, Canada and the United States. He happened to work for a bank. The bank provided, he was living in Arizona, and the bank provided insurance, medical insurance.
But he's living in Arizona, not in Canada.
But he was a Canadian citizen.
But it doesn't matter. He was living in Arizona
when he needed a medical,
with dual citizenship.
When he needed a physical, he went up to Canada, and he had his physical. Okay, if he needed, when he contracted cancer, he had his cancer treatments down here in the States.
But he lived in the States and he had dual citizenship. So he could have gone wherever he wanted.
But he would have had to have waited.
But he didn't have to go to Canada at all. There's no reason for him to go to Canada if he's working in Arizona.
You're missing the point. His medical was free in Canada. Okay? If he wanted to, he could have had his cancer treatments in Canada for free. But he would have had to have waited a certain amount of time before he could get to see the specialist. Working and living in Arizona, he simply made an appointment. He saw the specialist. His medical picked up a certain amount, and he made up the difference, just like anybody else.
Exactly. But it had nothing to do with being a Canadian citizen, Mark.
Yes, it did. Because he could have had the same thing. His ordinary physical.
It doesn't matter. He chose to use. He's an American citizen as well as a Canadian citizen. He has insurance that covers him in the United States and Canada. He chose to take his services in America, where he lived and where obviously he thought he was going to get better care.
Only insofar as his cancer treatment. When he had to see his regular doctor, he went up to Canada. He would schedule his vacation, go and visit family, and he would see the doctor up in Canada.
But he didn't have to. He could have done it all here. That was his choice.
And he would have had to have paid, is what I'm saying. That's what you're missing.
If you have a plan in the United States, you always have a copay, $30 or something for physical.
I don't know. I can't speak to his policy. The only thing I can speak to is that for his cancer treatments, he would have had to have waited a certain amount of time before he could schedule a visit to the Canadian specialist. While here in the States, he got an appointment within days. Okay?
Okay. Using his U.S. insurance that he has.
That's what I said.
Yes, so I don't understand what the issue is.
You're just being argumentative.
I'm not.
Yes,
I really.
You are. You're not listening to yourself.
I am. You're not listening to yourself,
Yeah,
Mark.
okay, I'm not.
He's a dual citizen. Am I right? He has dual citizenship.
Yes.
He has insurance in the U.S. He has insurance in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. He gets better care in the U.S. He uses the U.S. for his insurance, right? For his cancer.
I said that.
Right. He could he could do anything he wants here. But if he doesn't care and he wants to go to Canada and have it done, he has it done in Canada. What's the difference? If you go for a regular physical, there's no...
You're not listening. I'm not talking regular physical.
It's an annual checkup.
No, what I said was, when it came time for his annual physical, he scheduled it during a time when he was visiting family in Canada, and it didn't cost him anything. No copay, nothing. Okay?
Okay, that's his choice. That's
right.
all. What's the big deal? I don't understand the big deal of it.
Well, because you're being argumentative.
No, because I know, listen, people live in Canada sometimes go to the United States even if they don't have insurance because they can get better care. There's no secret that U.S. you get better care.
No one is debating the type of care. I mean, the Canadian system, they got the same kind of care, but you had to wait.
I'm saying you people...
And when you're talking about something like...
Mark, what did I just say? People who live in Canada will go down to the United States to get quick care sometimes because they can't get it when they want it in Canada. And they'll even pay for it without having insurance. People do that. That's a fact.
I didn't say no.
That's a fact.
I didn't say no.
And it's not to say, but In Canada also, if it's an emergency and you have a certain ailment, it's an emergency, they will bring up your appointment to a closer date. If you're dying and it's not elective surgery, they will give you a faster appointment. I know people who live in Canada also. It's the elective surgery. It's the stuff that's not, that they don't deem an emergency, that you may have to wait 3-4 months for, 5 months sometimes, that a lot of people don't want to wait for, and they'll go to the United States and do it. You know, it's not a, this is almost unfortunate. That's like that in almost all the countries that have free health care. It's not the same. You don't get the same type of care. In Canada, what they do is they'll pick a doctor out and they'll give them a $2,000 retainer for the year, and they will take them ahead of everybody else anytime they want to see them. That's done quite often. I don't know if you know that. That's done quite often in Canada when you live there. They cut deals with doctors. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Okay. That's what they do. They'll cut deals with doctors, and if you have a little bit extra money, you pay them a deal, and you get preferential care. You don't have to wait as long. I'm not saying it's a great plan, but at least everybody has care. Over here, a lot of people just don't get it, care, no matter how long they wait. Anyway, I don't think Dr. Mark wants to talk to me anymore. We've been going in circles too long for him, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody's called us. Nobody cares. Dr. Mark, things are being argued. Oh, wait a second. I have a call. Hello?
917.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Oh,
Sound like
I
you
had
just
a
got up
good
again.
day today up until about the late afternoon, and then I started to feel like icky and pain and tired, so I've been in bed ever since. But I've been listening to the show all night. And I wanted to say something about when you guys were talking about college and all that.
Yep.
I totally agree with you guys. I don't know why you even have to pay for education when other countries you get it for free. I just don't get it. And yet, an American like myself who wanted to go to college, who tried to go to college, and couldn't afford it, got turned down, but someone that comes into our country that's not American gets everything.
Well, I don't know, but as I
Well,
said...
colleges like to brag about the number of foreign students that they have enrolled. Okay? I don't know what goes on in their country as far as who does the paying, all right? But I do know that in one of maybe the last State of the Union message that President Obama delivered, he did say that he has a proposal, or he would sponsor a bill, would like to have a bill sponsored that would provide community college, which is at least the first 2 years for free.
Well, that's what I tried to do years ago. I mean, I tried to get into the community college, even on financial aid, and I couldn't even get it. Not even a full financial aid. And whatever they were granting me, I couldn't even afford. And I was already living on my own. I wasn't with my parents. I was in like my mid-20s, late 20s or whatever. Couldn't get in.
Yeah, well, as I said, my feeling is everybody should get an education if they want it.
You know, the first 2 years of college you're taking basic required courses anyway. You're not taking anything specific.
Exactly.